Nice guy. All right. What's up, guys? Jacob Two-Winer here from Experiment 27, and today we're going through 5 tips to close more sales in 2021. I've closed close to $1 million in 6 months for Experiment 27, and X27 has generated over $100 million in closed business for our clients in the last half decade. And so, that being said, I know a thing or two about closing sales. Not a sales expert or veteran, but I have gotten a lot more experience over the last year and learned from some of the best. So today I'm going to share with you some tips that helped me more than triple my close rate from cold outbound sales. Before we jump in, if you're liking the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to learn how to generate leads for cold email quickly, easily with a step-by-step video tutorial, I have my secret lead generation training document down below. Not the secret anymore, but it's only available if you go down below and click the link in the description. It will teach you a few tricks that most people don't know. And some of my students have made thousands of dollars after getting this document. So if you want to generate more leads for cold email, you can grab that for free. So let's jump into the video. Number 1 tip is to believe in what you're selling. This is obvious, but some people, it's not so obvious. You can't sell something that you don't believe in. In fact, a guy here where I am in New York was telling me he didn't really know exactly what he wanted to do for work, and he was asking some questions about sales. He was just curious, and he said, look, sales seems okay, but what if I don't actually believe that what I'm selling is going to help them? I don't want to do that. And I said, that's great. That means you'd be a terrific salesperson, because the best salespeople believe in what they're selling. You have to genuinely believe that what you are selling is going to help them. Now, sure, there are plenty of salespeople that don't do this, and that's why maybe used car salesmen get a bad rap. But the point is, there are plenty of salespeople who will sell something that is not truly in the client's best interest just to make a commission. And while that may work in the short term, in the short run, you may actually make some commission and make some money. What's going to happen? If you sell something that's not going to actually help somebody, they're going to be unhappy, they'll be pissed off, they may even be mad at you, and they're going to tell all of their friends and family, etc., not to work with you or your company, and maybe you'll make some money in the short run, but in the long term, over 20 years, you'll have a bad reputation. Now flip that on its head, and let's say you do believe in what you're selling, and you only sell to people who you know will benefit from the service or product. Once they buy that service or product, they will benefit. They'll have a great experience. You'll have a case study to sell more. And the best of all, where do most sales come from? They come from referrals most of the time, or at least a large portion of them come from referrals. And by believing in what you're selling, you will get more referrals, which are the easiest. Referrals are the easiest to sell to because they already trust you. They already want what you have to offer. So you need to actually believe that what you are selling will help your customers. When I sell X27 services, I know that certain people are a fit for our company, and that certain people make a lot of money working with us. Dom and Tom, we made them $1 million in like 6 months of working with us. One of my clients made $100,000 in closed business after 1 month with us. Those kinds of results lead me to believe in what I'm selling, right? So if you're not believing what you're selling, then you need to either you need to start believing by learning more about your product or your market and actually understanding the value that you're providing, or don't sell it at all. Because if you truly don't believe in it, not only will you be bad at selling it because people can tell, but it's also unethical, right? And at the end of the day, you don't want to do anything unethical in sales. So that's tip number 1, is believe in what you're selling. Number 2, you have to know your customers' problems, right? The only way that you can sell something is if they have a problem. And you need to know what that problem is. That's why it's best to sell something that you have experience with personally, but you don't need to, although I think it's better if you've been in the world of the industry that you're selling in. So if you're a big car guy and you know what common problems happen with cars, then you could more easily speak to those problems with your customers. And at the end of the day, that's why people spend money. People spend money to solve their problems. People value solutions that solve their problems, right? So for me, I know that a lot of agency owners specifically are great at what they do. They're very artistic, they're great designers, but they don't know how to do sales. They don't know how to generate their own leads. I know that's a problem for them because a lot of them describe their business growth with the word luck. And that's a place that you never want to be. You never want to be relying on luck to get more customers, especially when your entire payroll, your entire staff depends on you for a paycheck, when your livelihood is dependent on your sales. If you don't sell, you don't eat, especially as a business owner. So that's a giant problem. That's what keeps my customers up at night. And I know that when I'm on my discovery calls and I'm looking for a customer and I'm asking the right questions, that if I hear them say that they only rely on referrals and that they need more consistent growth, that's a problem that I can solve. If that problem isn't there and they are like, yeah, no, we're doing great, we're growing a lot, and we have plenty of leads, maybe they'll buy, but they don't have the urgency. They don't really have the problem. And I probably should spend my time elsewhere on someone who actually has that problem. A big mistake that I made in the past that I'm still working on and that a lot of salespeople make is spending time with everyone, trying to sell your service to every single customer you talk to, when really most people you should be saying no to. It's going to be better for them and better for you. Because if you've got 10 people, 2 of which are a great fit, they have a massive problem that you can solve, 8 of which just aren't really having a big problem. If you spend an equal amount of time on every single person, you can only give 10% of your energy to each one, when most of them don't even want to buy in the first place. However, if you spent 50% of your energy on one of them and 50% of your energy on the other one, in this analogy, this example, you would have a much higher success of closing the people that actually wanted to buy in the first place. So you need to know your customers' problems, because that allows you to look for the right customers, speak to those problems in a way that resonates with them so they want to buy. And it also helps you avoid wasting time on people that don't actually have the problem that you solve, right? So you need to really know your customer's problem. What is it that keeps your customer awake at night? What is the pain that they're feeling that your solution, your product or service can solve? Once you know that, you'll know how to ask the right discovery questions, what to look for, and how to explain the value of your solution for them, especially, if you know the cost of the problem, what it's costing the customer. So that's a big one, knowing your customer's problems. Number 3, don't sell during discovery. By the way, if you're liking the video so far, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Okay, don't sell during discovery. Why not? Discovery is about understanding your customers. It's about understanding their context and goals. Where are they now? Where do they want to go? And what's going to get them there? What's in their way? What's stopping them, right? How much can they spend on the solution? When do they want the solution? When do they want the desired result? You need to know all of these things, because if you don't, you won't know what to sell them. You won't know how to sell them, and you won't know if you should sell them, which, going back to the ethical thing, you don't want to sell something to someone if they're not a fit. But a lot of the time, what I used to do and what a lot of people do, a lot of people who are in sales, is they try and sell on the very first call, or they try and sell. It's okay if you sell on the first call, but not until after the discovery phase is completed. Now, I've got a whole video on discovery, a 30-minute video of me discussing every single step in the discovery process, along with an actual role-play live example of a discovery call with someone on the X27 sales team. So I highly recommend that you check out those videos. I'll put them in the cards above. That being said, you don't want to sell during discovery, because discovery is when you understand them and you get them to sell themselves. If you start trying to sell them during discovery, they're going to know that you're being a sleazy salesman. You're just trying to get them to buy your thing. You can get your commission and move on. Discovery is not about you selling them anything. Discovery is about you understanding them, listening, understanding their problems, understanding their goals, what they want, how they want to get there, what's stopping them, and if they can be helped by you. That is the goal of the discovery call, and there is no place for selling in the discovery call. Now, there are times when you want to get them excited and say certain things, but you should never really be trying to sell them on that until after the discovery call is complete. And once you have all the information from the discovery, and if that information aligns with your definition of a qualified buyer, that's when you go in and sell. But I can guarantee you, if you start trying to sell during the discovery call, you will scare off your prospects. They won't want to book another meeting with you. You won't be able to sell them anything. It's going to be a disaster. When you run the discovery call properly, you follow our process at X27 to run a proper discovery call, a thorough discovery call, one that is not full of sales but full of listening and understanding the other person and trying to do what's best for them. You will have a much higher close ratio, because they know that you're doing the best thing for them and you know what they need. So that is why you should not sell during discovery. Number 4, always know your next step. I can't tell you how many times I used to get on a sales call not knowing what the purpose of the call was and not knowing what was going to happen next. And I can guarantee you, if you don't know what's happening next after that call, the prospect surely does not know what is going to happen after that phone call. So you as a salesperson need to be in control. You are always in control of the sales cycle, and you need to make sure that the prospect knows that, not by saying, hey, I'm in control, I'm the boss, but subtly by the way that you talk, the way that you ask them questions, the way that you move the sale forward. You need to have a sales process outlined, and if you want help with a sales process, you can book a coaching call with me down below. We'll go through your sales process and I can help you close more deals. That being said, you need to know your next step. So if I book a discovery call, I need to know what's going to happen after that. In fact, I need to actually say that next step at the beginning of the discovery call. So when I'm setting the agenda for the call, hey, look, Frank, the purpose of this call today, in my mind, and feel free to add anything else that you would like to at the end, I was thinking that on this call we would, number 1, introduce ourselves, and I could introduce a bit about X27 and how we help companies like yours. Number 2, I've already done a lot of research into you and your company, the work you've done with XYZ company, and the services you offer, but I would love to get your internal perspective on things, on your current context and goals for the coming year. And at the end of the call, if it makes sense for us to discuss moving forward, or if we have any potential synergies together, I'd love to talk about next steps. Does that work for you? Sure, bam. So once he agrees to that, you're already getting the person to agree to next steps. And at the end of the call, after your discovery phase is complete, what's the next step? You know in your head the next step is booking a proposal meeting, right? And on the proposal call, you have a next step. And you always have a next step to move the deal forward. And that leads me to my next part of the 5 tips, which is number 5, make the ask. With the next step in mind, you have to ask for it. You can't expect the prospect to book the next meeting themselves. If they're really excited, they might, but regardless, you need to make the ask. You need to make the ask in your cold emails to book the meeting. If you're on cold calls, you need to ask to book the meeting, even if they are shutting you down. I just posted a video about cold calling the other day, and you don't know how many times I'm on the phone and they say, I'm not interested, no thank you. And I go, oh, okay, that's okay. Well, maybe in the future, if you're interested, I'd love to discuss this further in a few months or whatever. And I asked for the meeting every single time. I would much rather have them hang up on me trying to ask for the meeting than giving up after one no. Because most of the meetings that I book come after 2 or 3 rejections, and I keep trying to book the meeting until they either hang up on me or say yes. So you need to make the ask. That's a little aggressive on a cold call, but the point is, if you don't ask for a meeting in your cold email, you'll never get the meeting booked. If you don't ask for the proposal call in your discovery call, you'll never have the proposal call booked. If you don't ask for the order at the end of your proposal call or contract call, they're not going to buy. Now, I made a video about closing and how you actually ask subtly, but the point is you need to know what you're asking for, and that comes from having the next step in mind. All 5 of these tips, though, coincide together, and if you follow all of these, number 1, believe in what you're selling. Know your customer's problems. Number 2. Number 3, don't sell during discovery. Number 4, know your next step. And number 5, make the ask. I guarantee you your close rate will increase. Mine has tripled in the last 6 months, and actually a little more than that. Now, it wasn't so great when I started, so I'm still not an amazing salesman, but clearly these tips have helped me improve dramatically, and that's what I want to help you do as well. Let me know which of the 5 tips you like the most in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and one more time, if you want that lead generation training document, it's full of value. I really should be charging for it, but it's free for you right now. All you have to do is click the link down below, give me your email, and you'll get a step-by-step guide that you or a virtual assistant can follow that will teach you how to generate leads quickly, easily, and if you want to outsource it, for pretty cheap. It will give you the best results. You'll find the right people, the right companies that actually want what you have to offer, how to find their emails, even if a tool like Hunter can't find it. And the best trick of all is how to validate and accept all emails so you can avoid spam. And if you know anything about email validation tools, you can't do that anywhere else except for with this trick. So I highly recommend you grab it. That's all from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.